morning, everybody. As we are doing the chapter, Bills of Exchange for last 1 month, 1 week, in which we did the topic up to the bill sent for collection. See, in those cases we did the bill is receiving and paying on the maturity date. But sometimes this happened that the drawee get the money from somewhere else and he just feel like that he has to pay the money before then the due date. So if the drawee makes the payment of its bill before its due date, it is called as retiring of the bill. In such of the case, the holder may be the drawee, it may be the endorsee, it may be the bank. If the bill discounted from the bank, any of the case may be there. Usually allow him on the discount, and technically it is called rebate. Suppose I have to pay money to somebody, and if I am paying before then the period that I promise, so what I ask for some privilege, and that privilege will be a kind of discount that I am paying you money before the committed time. So you just give me some benefit of this. When we get the benefit, that discount amount will be considered in the books of account as rebate. So such rebate is calculated for the specified time period. It is calculated for the specified time period because the discount is always given per annum, and the rebate is again to the party making the payment as an expense for the party receiving the payment. See how the entry is to be worked over here. Suppose if the Y has its acceptance and before the due date Y pay the bill back, what does it mean? It means he'll get some privilege, and that will be rebate. So before the due date, at the time of the payment received, the entry will become bank account debit, rebate on bill account debit to BR account. And in case of drawee is enjoying the rebate. It's a kind of income for him, benefit for him. So that benefit will be credited and the entry will become bills payable account debit to bank account to rebate on bill account. Illustration number 11. See now how it works. On 1st July 2018, Chandar sold goods to Dinesh of the list price of rupees 50,000 at 20% discount. On the same day, drew a bill on Dinesh for the amount payable after 3 months. Dinesh accepted the bill, and on 4th September 2018, Dinesh retired his acceptance and receiving a rebate of 15% per annum. And we have to pass the necessary entry in the books of both of the parties, that is here drawer as well as drawee. So as we read the statement, on 1st July 2018, the transaction is taking place. On this date, the Chandar sold the goods to Dinesh. In a way, Chandar is vendor and Dinesh is buyer. Chandar will draw the bill, Chandar become drawer, and Dinesh will become the drawee. So we have to maintain the books of we have to maintain the books of Chandar as well as Dinesh. Now Chandar sold goods to Dinesh of list price rupees 50,000 at 20% trade discount. First of all, in the books of drawer, I'm showing the cursor over here. The entry will become on 1st July, Dinesh debit to sales account. I told you each and every basic concept that how is the entry is to be passed. I'll not repeat it again. I'll just speak the entry only, and it will be Dinesh debit to sales account. Now see, what's the amount? The amount of the sales is given over here, that is 50,000, but mind it, it is the list price. The 50,000 rupees is the list price. 20% trade discount is to be there. If you remember, in the basic accounting term, I explain you that whenever the trade discount is there, it is not to be shown in the books of account, but it will be deducted out of the amount of sale or purchase. So what is the amount over here? That is 50,000. I'm moving the cursor. I'm highlighting the cursor over here. You can see on the screen, and 20% is the trade discount. Now 20% of 50,000 will be 10,000. So 10,000 will be deducted out of 50,000, and the value of the net sale will become 40,000 rupees. That will become 40,000 rupees. Now, BR is to be drawn over there on the same date. On 1st July, the BR is drawn and the entry will become bills receivable account debit to Dinesh account. These two entries are supposed to be passed in the books of drawer. But now in the books of draw means Dinesh, the entry will become purchase because Chandar is selling the goods and Dinesh is purchasing the goods. When the Dinesh is purchasing the goods, the entry will become purchases account debit to Chandar, and Chandar will give the acceptance for the bills payable that is to be paid by him after a specific period of time. So the entry will become Chandar debit to bills payable account. And how much will be the denomination? It will remain same, 40,000, 40,000. I'm repeating once again how we calculate 40,000. 50,000 amount is there of the total sale or purchase. 20% trade discount is to be deducted out of that, and we will get the net amount, that is 40,000. Let's see what is further given in the statement. If we look at the second last line, on 4th September 2018, Dinesh retired his acceptance, receiving a rebate of 15%. I'm just opening the annotation and marking it. Please see, it is very much necessary to highlight the date is 4th September. The date is 4th September on which the bill is to be paid. See, but the due date will be happen after 3 months. It started on 1st July. If we talk about the 3 months, it will be July, August, September complete. And after that, in October, by adding the days of grace, the due date will fall. But we are receiving the amount of bill on 4th September where I put a tick mark. It means the draw is making the payment 1 month before. Draw is making the payment 1 month before and getting the rebate of 15% per annum. Please mind it. It is per annum. So now from the due date, 1 month before the due date, we are receiving the payment. So the drawer will mark the entry in his books, bank account debit, rebate on bill account debit to BR. The total amount of the bill is 40,000. 15% per annum is the rebate. So it is for the 15% per annum. Per annum means it is for a complete year. But the bill is to be paid 1 month before. So he will get the privilege or a kind of rebate for the 1 month only. So the calculation will be like this: 40,000 into 15 upon 100 for the percentage of the rebate into 1 upon 12, because 1 month early amount is to be paid, and the total year means per annum consists of 12 months. All in all, after calculating this, we will get the amount of 500 rupees. That 500 rupees will be considered as the rebate. So entry will become bank account debit, that will be 39,500, rebate on bill 500 to So after doing debate on retiring of a bill, let's move ahead to the next topic, and that is dishonor of a bill. See, sometimes this can be happen. Suppose X draw a bill for the Y for 2 months, but after 2 months, Y don't have any money to pay, and Y just inform this to X that I'm not able to pay you money back. So now, please settle down. What happened in that case? If the drawee is not able to pay the amount of bill due to any of the reason, or whether voluntary or intentionally refuse to pay the amount of the bill on the date of maturity, whether he become insolvent, whether he don't want to pay willingly, any of the case, means if the drawee is unable to pay just because of any reason on the due date, then the bill is to be considered as the dishonor of bill. And whenever the dishonor is to be made, then what is to be done? See, for this purpose, the holder of the bill must serve a notice of dishonor of the bill, and it must be served immediately after the dishonor within a reasonable time. If this is not done, the holder of the bill loses his right to recover the amount from the party to whom such notice is not served. Now, what are the noting charges? As the notice is to be given to the drawee, so drawer is liable to pay some charges. The establish of the fact the bill was properly presented and dishonored, and the bill is usually handed over to a person is called the notary public. The person who sent the notice, he will known as notary public. And the notary public just puts down the fact of the dishonor of the bill itself, and such act of notary public will be known as noting. And the notary public charges a small fee for the service rendered by him, which is called the noting charges. Such charges are paid to the notary public first by the holder of the bill, but are ultimately recovered from the acceptor, because he is the person who is responsible for the dishonor. So please mind this line and mark in your books as well. Such charges are paid to the notary public first by the holder of the bill, but are ultimately recovered from the acceptor of the bill, because acceptor is the only person who is responsible for the dishonor of the bill. So ultimately the expenses are to be paid by him. See, what are the entries are to be done in the books of drawer and drawee in case of dishonor. When the Y, the acceptor of the bill, dishonor the bill on the due date. Now, see what happened. Now, bill is going to be dishonored. So, BR will be cancelled. So, it will be credited. And Y become the debtor once again. Y become the debtor once again. So, Y will be debit. The entry will become Y debit to bills receivable account. On the other hand, in the books of drawing, it will be vice versa. Bills payable is cancelled now. So bills payable account debit, and X again become the creditor for the Y. So in his books, he just mark him credited, and the entry will become bills payable account debit to X. Now, when the X pays noting charges, the entry will become Y debit to cash account. The entry will become Y debit to cash account. And the entry in case of the books of drawing will be noting charges account debit to X. The entry will become noting charges account debit to X. See, these are the two entries are to be passed at the time of dishonor of the bill. Once of the dishonor, another for the noting charges. If you look at this very carefully, in both of the cases, Y is debiting over here. In both of the cases, Y is debiting. See, Y debit here, Y debit here. So in a way, we can combine this entry and we can mark Y debit. On this side, we are just doing the BR credit. In this entry, we are making cash credit. We can do it combined to BR to cash account. We can make this entry combined as well. Whether you can put these two entries, that will be correct. If you do the combined entry together, then it also will be correct. In the books of drawing, we are making the BP account debit, and on the other hand, we are doing the X account credit. On the another entry, X account is also credited and noting charges are debit. Now we can combine. X will be credited in both of the cases to X. Once bills payable account will be debit. In another case, noting charges account will be debit. So in a way, we can put the entry all together. These two entries can be done separately for the dishonor and noting charges paid, or whether it can be done combined, because ultimately the noting charges is to be due by the Y, and Y is the drawing. So noting charges are to be paid by the Y only. So it will be due to Y, because Y is the drawing. Y has to pay the money. So he is liable to pay the bill. As I highlighted you to mark this statement in the given para given above this chart of journal entries. In this way, you are supposed to do the question. Let's go for the illustration number 12. Then it will be more clear to us. See. On 1st January 2020, on 1st January 2020, X sold goods to Y. X sold goods to Y of rupees 20,000 less 2% cash discount. Now see, here the cash discount is 2%. The cash discount is 2%. This 2% is given over here. Y paid 50% price immediately, and X drew a bill on Y for 2 months. This bill was duly accepted by Y and bill dishonor on the due date. X paid 100 rupees as noting charges. Y due the amount to X of the check after 10 days, and pass and success journal entry in the books of both. First of all, the goods are sold. See, when the goods are sold, what will be the entry in the books of drawer? Drawer means X. In the books of X, the entry will be Y to sales. The entry will become Y to sales. It is of 20,000. Now cash discount is there. So it is to be shown rupees 200. Cash account debit, discount allowed account debit to Y 10,000, 9,800, 200. Then BR account debit to Y for the acceptance received for 2 months. Because the bill has become dishonor. Please mind it, the bill has become, here the acceptance bill has become dishonor and the noting charges is to be paid. So entry will become Y to BR, Y to cash. But in this question, they have made a combined entry all together. Here Y is debit once for the BR and then for the noting charges due to him, which is presently paid by the drawer, who is X. Now, after 10 days, means the due date is 4th March, 10 days, 14 March, bill is paid by the Y. The bank account debit to Y. How much amount is to be paid by Y? It is 10,100 along with the amount of noting charges. Okay, let's move ahead. In the next, Then purchases to X, vice versa entry will be there. In case of drawer, it is sales. Now it will be purchase. Then X debit to cash to discount received. Then X to BP. Then BP account debit, noting charges account debit to X. And X to bank. X will receive the money that is paid by the drawee. And drawee is Y. X is receiving the money and debit the receiver, and cash is going from the Y, so the entry will become X debit to bank account, and it will be 10,100. It is all about for the day. If anybody have any doubt, please ask.